It is 2024 and people seem to still not understand why The Legend of Korra is a bad show. It's kind of crazy to me that I don't know, like they just don't get it.
Yeah, I'd agree, man. I think that they just don't understand, like you always say, you can like something and still criticize it.
Exactly. Now, today's video, we are obviously going to be talking about The Legend of Korra, someone posting a dumb tweet about it as usual, and I got my boy Martial Arts with us today.
Yo, what's going on, everybody?
Make sure to yeah, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to his channel, check his stuff out. He is also doing an art challenge, 100 days of drawing clothing. I showed up for a few days and I've learned a lot when it comes to drawing different types of clothing, so go ahead and check that out. Anyway.
Oh yeah, appreciate that.
No, it's fine, it's fine. We are a bit rusty. We haven't done a video together in a minute. So here's the thing, like one of the things that as you mentioned that I love to do is when criticizing a show, critiquing a show or whatever, I like to give it its props, I like to give it its flowers. You know, right now on the screen I got some of the action scenes from The Legend of Korra and everything looks crispy, the choreography is on point, it's just great action, and that's one of the things that The Legend of Korra does really, really well. But I'm not gonna pretend that just because it has good action, art, and music means everything else about the show is perfect. That's not how critiquing a show works, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I 100% agree, man, because like I'm still a huge fan of what The Legend of Korra is. I mean, as someone who blindly liked it in its conception and just looking at it and being like, this is so amazing, you know, and then just talking with you, seeing other things online where people critique it like, hey, you know, Legend of Korra has great action, great moments, but overall the writing is just garbage in a lot of areas. Don't get me wrong, there's definitely peaks and valleys where it stands out.
Yeah, but those valleys are fucking low. That's the thing. Yeah. It's like where it peaks really high where it comes to certain hype moments, but then where it kind of falters, it just falters really, really badly. And that actually takes me to this the tweet that the person made. Someone delusional takes, of course, posted the screen grab of someone saying if Avatar Korra was male, she would lose 80% of her haters, which is like the dumbest shit I've heard in 2024 about this show.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think that there's a lot of people who look at this and they don't understand that The Legend of Korra was an attempt to ante up the ventures about, you know, different story structures that, you know, could have and should have worked. However, it left more answers or left more questions than what I guess the writing was supposedly supposed to be doing. Especially in
okay, sorry, yeah. You go ahead, finish.
No, go ahead.
Oh, here's the thing that I think here, right? I think what Legend of Korra tried to do is they tried to one up what came before, but they didn't have the time to properly do that. Now, I'm not gonna blame the writers completely. I'm not just gonna say, oh, they're shit writers. No, some of the things that they've done is actually pretty well. It's pretty well done storytelling. It's just the problem is that they weren't able to do that consecutively. They weren't able to continuously push out a product that amazed the audience. It just kind of felt rushed in a lot of places, and I think that's where Legend of Korra really fucked up.
To go back to your earlier point too, and I mean to the earlier tweet you know that we're looking at, if Avatar Korra was male, she would lose 80% of her haters. I disagree with that.
Yeah,
I think
bullshit.
It would still be the exactly the same, even based on what you're saying. You know, it was mainly the writing that went into the character itself. It had nothing to do with the gender.
Exactly. Now this person says no, not really. The writing was kind of trash towards the end. I posted my video. You guys could check this video out where I go over a lot of the flaws in The Legend of Korra step by step. I missed like a few of the smaller ones, but I got most of the big ones, and a lot of people agreed on that video. This is why the show sucks. It's not about the gender or sex of the character. it's about the writing of said character. That's just the reality. So I think it's only stupid people try to use this kind of straw man argument to make it seem like Korra is only being hated because she's female.
Now, you brought something to my attention before in a previous video, and I just want to touch on this. The reason why there was a significant writing drop-off in a lot of the show is the absence of Aaron Ehas, the co-producer and head writer for the old Avatar: The Last Airbender. He understood the show not tell aspect of storytelling. Show not tell challenges the viewers to pay attention to the details, and a lot of the time gets the mind of the viewers to really entrench. For example, we often look at the White Lotus throughout the series of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes.
And we like what they really represent. But then when you go to Legend of Korra and you see the Red Lotus, I believe it's called, they really don't have that same touch. They don't have that same mysterious or that same mystique, as you will.
And the main thing, I think, it just goes full circle and comes back to their lack of time. I don't think they weren't given the appropriate amount of time and resources to truly kind of make something that would last and what's the word I'm looking for here? Not disappoint the previous audiences from the original Avatar: The Last Airbender. I think that's just the main thing.
In literally the first 10 minutes of Legend of Korra, okay, I literally cannot stress this enough. In the first 10 minutes of Legend of Korra, in a bunch of different ways, Brian DiMartino and Mike Konietzko literally push in your face that this show is about Korra, no more Aang, which already shows that why are you rushing the fact we already know going into the freaking Legend of Korra, it's not called Aang, the Legend of Aang. It's called the Legend of Korra. So we already know it's about a new avatar. We don't need you to tell us that in these bunch of different ways. We don't need Tenzin's monologue saying, "Oh, when my father," bro, we get it. We get it. It's about Korra. Why are you rushing this? So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, even the aspect of giving her all three elements at the age of 5 is kind of ridiculous, because
Crazy.
When you look at it, Legend of Korra does a few more things too. It kind of breaks the bending system. We look at Bolin gaining the ability to lava bend in 0.2 seconds. Now keep in mind, this guy has never practiced lava bending in his life. He just is naturally able to, which makes no sense. This guy who has been a pro bender for I think it was like 8 or 9 years or something, he has been like a pro bender for a decent amount of time, isn't able to figure out that he can lava bend, but suddenly out of nowhere he can. It's just bullshit. They just ruined the show in so many ways, and wasted villains as well. I have the picture of Amon with the scarred face up on the screen right now, and when you look at the makeup that he did, originally when I saw this image of him, you could see that his lips are all sunken in, his eyebrows are missing. You really thought his face was burnt off, but turns out that's makeup. Like, yo, what year is he living in? Is he in 2023? Did he go to a Hollywood makeup artist and got that shit professionally put on? Like, is he sitting in front of a mirror every day and reapplying this makeup and doing touch-ups and shit? Like, like, come on. What?
So look, you bring up villains, and I think that's a good character development point. I think that if you look at Azula, for instance, shrewd, calculating, maniacal, sadistic, she is crazy in Avatar: The Last.
One of
you look
the
at the
best
Dai Li
villains,
agents. The Dai Li agents feel mysterious. Like, you would not want to even if they're trying to help you, you would feel scared, kind of like regular police. But anyway, it's and when you look at the Legend of Korra, if you were to look at the Legend of Korra, where is that in the series? I don't get that from Amon. I don't get that. I mean, yeah, you could say Zahir, or you could say, what's her name felt that way? I can't think of her season 4, her name. Kuvira. You could look at Kuvira and say, oh, Kuvira, but nobody was as good as Azula, the Dai Li agents, or any of the other villains in Legend of Korra. The character development just wasn't there. Exactly. And if I can talk about character development for just one more minute, the shipping. Yeah. The shipping they did in the series for Legend of Korra, where the writing is concerned, felt forced. If you look at how this originally happened with Aang and Katara, it felt really natural. Katara saw a lot more. At first, she was kind of motherly with Aang. Aang kind of saw her as, I'm not really good with women. I've never been around women because I grew up as a monk, and my training was everything. Then Katara was like, holy crap, I'm starting to like this boy because I see that he is nice, he is genuine, he is everything. And we saw that over the course of 3 books. Whereas in the first season, it's like, oh, Bolin likes Korra, Korra likes Mako. There's already a love triangle, and it's like, could you guys like save this for like another thing? And I get it. Just to say this last point, they thought they were only gonna have 1 season. I understand.
Yeah,
but
doesn't mean it's good. Yeah.
Yes, I was gonna say it doesn't mean that it's still good.
Yeah, that's very, very true, man. To me, it just sucks overall. And then you got like a bunch of idiots coming to the rescue, they think, of Legend of Korra by saying stuff like that. They're trying to, you know, with the modern day argument, men versus women thing, they're always trying to make it seem like, oh, it's men. Guys just hate on this character because she's female, when that's not at all the case. You know, it's just pathetic all around.
And I'll say this because I know we're wrapping up on time here. The actual story and substance of the characters felt secondary over everything else. I mean, the action felt like it was more of a character and upfront in your face than anything else.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that people wanted to have certain relationships felt first over the actual story and character development. I mean, especially when no effort went into developing these characters later on, it felt like even, man, and everything just kind of felt cringe at some point. And don't get me wrong, I'm still a fan of the action sequences in Korra. Like, do not get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like, seeing Zahir as a non-airbender, like, who's just a regular fighter, like, twirl and twist and jump around, shit was cool. It was really cool.
Yeah, like, I mean, as I said already, I already gave it its credit there where it's due, man. Like, the action in that show is fucking phenomenal. I'm not going to downplay that at all. It has some of my all-time favorite fights in the Avatar universe in that show. But I just truly wish the writing was better. Like, realistically speaking, I really wish that we could like revamp Legend of Korra and give it the writing it deserves. Like, and just make the one that came out a non-canon story or something, like a drafted story. I think most fans would understand that. You know, except for like the dumbass woke ones, they'll probably just kind of blow a gasket in their heads, but who cares about them anyway. So you guys, if y'all agree with all it takes, go ahead and like and subscribe. Doing this kind of late because I forgot, but thank you for the 32 new subscribers recently. You guys are amazing. It's not a large number, but every single one of you guys counts. Go ahead and subscribe to my boy Martial Arts channel. As I said, he does his own manga. He's doing like these live stream art challenges. Anyone can join and start drawing different types of clothing with him. And yeah, everybody else have a good rest of your day.
Later.